Action. Hey yo, good to see you again. Back in the green scrubs. Oh, am I in focus actually? Let me just check that. I always do this, don't I, to you guys? I think now I am. Yeah, it's quite good. Now I'm in focus. Yeah, okay. Yeah, back in the green scrubs. Good to see you all again. I already said that already. But alright, let's enough waffle. Back to the topic. So, what am I gonna be talking about today? Really, it's just that medicine is kind of boring. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if you guys have realized this, but it's kind of not how we maybe imagined it before we went into medical school. When we were in sixth form, secondary school, primary school, our image of medicine has probably changed over time. And spending more time in the hospital, you realize what you thought medicine was before is not what it really is when you work there. Now, what do I mean by this? Well, it's kind of simple. It's in the media and around the world. It's over glamorized. Medical professionals are made to look like superheroes that work super hard and do awesome stuff. And that only happens for 30 minutes, and then the rest is all chill and they're relaxing and living a glamorous life in the background. And that's not really it. So if you watch many movies or any TV show, it's over dramatized. I've lost English today. I go over there. Over dramatized, and my screen has got off. 1 second. What are you doing? Going to sleep? That screen. Over dramatized. I can't pronounce a word to save my life, and I don't know why. My mind is just gone today. But yeah, they make it look like a hospital is an action movie. If you watch maybe Grey's Anatomy, it's just over the top. Everyone is sad and depressed, and everything is so dark and gloomy. If you watch Scrubs, or fun and jokes, and it's quite easy to diagnose people and just to deal with day-to-day life, and it's just a regular drama. Or if you watch, I don't know, maybe Doctor Strange, and you saw how he was just able to treat patients like that, and the rest of his life he was living a glamorous life with all the watches and all the Lamborghinis. It's not like that. And if you watch any other TV show where they all say, bring me something stat right now, or do something like this and that right now, and then it just feels like you're in an action movie, that's not what medicine is. It's quite opposite to that, really. It's quite boring. Now, what do I mean by this? Well, yes, you do have these opportunities where you can be quite dramatic and quite scary as what's happening, but it's not every day that you get to see this. I'd say maybe 1 to 10% of the time you're inside hospital, this is real life, where it's quite action movie like, and that depends on the speciality you're in it. If you're in GP, that's highly unlikely to ever happen to you. But if you're in A&E, you know, maybe 10% of the day you'll have something, a patient like that. You know, if they have an adult priority call coming in and it's quite scary, but even then the adult priority call may not be as it seems. Maybe it's a false alarm, maybe it's quite easy to manage and handle, and it's not shouting and saying this patient's gonna die, let me just perform CPR on them, or the flatlining. Flatlining is fake, it just means the machine isn't plugged in. But most of the time inside hospital, you're just dealing with repetitive tasks day in and day out. So a lot of it is paperwork. Whether you're chasing up patients' notes, or patients' drug charts, or whether you have to write something about a patient to make sure that you're documenting it and covering your own bases and making sure that what you've done is the right thing for the patient. Or maybe you see loss of conditions that you've seen multiple times before, and it's not something dramatic, it's just something that is important for the patient, but it's not Hollywood. Or maybe you're just dealing with the same patients day in and day out, because a lot of patients stay in the hospital for quite a long time, and you're just making sure that they're okay and that they're stable and that they're not deteriorating. So it's not that every day you come in with a new bad patient, it's just making sure your old patients are okay. Or maybe even to the point where you have to deal with patients who shouldn't really be inside hospital. So what I mean by this, maybe someone got sent over by their GP and they weren't really supposed to be inside hospital because their GP thought they should be here, but really they shouldn't be. It's quite bad for them to be inside the hospital, for them and for the NHS as well, you know what I mean. Or maybe the patient wanted to go inside hospital to maybe avert work or try to get a sick note or something, and they're wasting valuable time, and you just have to deal with it and tell the patient, listen, you're okay, you're just gonna do this and that, you know, take care of yourself, and then you can go home and it's fine. So yeah. So how do you deal with it, really? I think the first step really is acceptance. If you're going to go into medical school, or if you're graduating to F1 and you're still sort of concerned about what medicine's like, just have to accept that this is life. It's quite repetitive day in and day out. It's quite tiring really to have to deal with all of this stuff day in and day out, but it's just what medicine is. It's what we signed up for. Yes, you also have to accept that, you know, these situations where it can be kind of awesome do come along. And you just have to be patient for them. So the other way you can deal with this is just patience. Patience for the awesome stuff to come. And the third way to deal with it is really just to look at it into like a task you want to perfect. So you have all these patients with you that you see all the time, and you just want, you know, they're regular patients. You have to think to yourself, okay, You know, this is my day in and day out job. How do I make it fun? I'm not every day gonna see an interesting or scary case, but how do I make this normal day in and day out life fun? Maybe it's just having a good conversation about the patient with your colleagues to see that, you know, what they would have done differently compared to what you did. Or maybe, you know, just start doing like a little routine when you do each patient, so it becomes a sort of a challenge for you to perfect how you work inside the repetitive hospital environment. So even though it's very quite, you know, boring and tiresome, you can make it into a little challenge that can be fun for yourself. You see how you can improve. And that's really it. There's not much you can do. Medicine is medicine. Not everyone comes in... if everyone came in requiring extreme medical aid, then God help the human race. But luckily and thankfully, that's not the case. And you just have to accept that that's what medicine is. Yes, you do get a lot of opportunities where you can even travel the world and see how medicine is different around the world, but you just have to love it for what it is. A repetitive, droning, awesome, little tiring job that we all actually really love and really enjoy. So I hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you all in the next one.